Mr. Kranthi Bathini, Director Research of Wealth Mill Securities, now joining in. Warm welcome to you, Mr. Bathini. Good to have you with us. तो आप दुबई से जुड़ रहे हैं या फिर इंडिया से?
I'm joining from Dubai.
Okay, wonderful. How's the weather treating you there, and what are your foreign friends telling you about India?
Sakshi, the mood is sober at this point of time with respect to Indian markets are concerned in a medium to short term. But right now, what we can sense is the foreign portfolio investors more keen towards the Chinese markets. That's where the interest is going on in the medium to short term. I don't think so it's going to get continued for a longer term, but it's just a short term thing. But the long only investors are quite keen pursuing their investments on Indian markets. So the long-term theme is on India. The recent correction on Indian markets also making the Indian companies looks attractive. The valuations are getting into a fair value zone at this point of time. So the long only money has been waiting to enter into India. Of course, in the medium to short term, some kind of impact, some kind of flows have been getting into markets like China.
Yeah, absolutely. So short to medium term, there could be more interest spewing as far as China is concerned. But in the long run, India continues to be a strong story. 22,382 currently on the Nifty. We are now down by about 0.5% in the trade today. Let's get you to understand, Mr. Bathini, how should investors strategize their fresh investments? If they're sitting on cash, is this the right time to invest in? And how should they go about investing in the current market?
Actually, the global equity environment is changing very fast. Last fortnight back, everybody talking about the US growth prospects, and in fact, the foreign portfolio investors have been running from India and emerging markets to US. But the scenario all of a sudden changed. Right now, the US recession worries and all, they're getting surfaced again. And we are, what kind of the downtrend in the US markets all of a sudden we are witnessing. So investors need to be cautious with respect to the global cues are concerned in the medium to short term that are going to weigh more pressure, weight on Indian markets in the medium to short term. But if the investors, one need to have a brave heart at this point of time to invest at this point of time. If the investor is a really long term at heart and also at action, majority of the investors, what we witnessed in the recent past, they come up with a template like a long-term investor, but the kind of carnage what we witnessed, the sentiment and also when the euphoria get changed, these investors are frightened to be in equity markets. But that's the reason investors need to be an investor at heart and also their actions also. So if this is they have both these combination, definitely at this point of time one can start staggering their investments. There is no need of hurry because the global clouds are not clear at this point of time, and majority of the news events have been discounted in India. So one key trigger going ahead is the corporate results. That is extremely crucial going ahead.
Yeah.
With respect to the Q3 results are concerned. So if the investor is a long-term investor, long-term in the sense at least 1 to 3 years horizon, one need to chip into the quality companies. But this time the quality makes the difference.
Okay, we already have a lot of questions for you, but we'll take the first question right from Dubai, sir. We have, a viewer of ours who's watching you right from the place that you are in. Ajit is there from Dubai, and he says, I'm holding Titan at the price of 2,880. I have 30 shares. I want to know whether I should book my profit or continue to hold on. Well, Ajit, completely depends on your horizon. You should have shared with us whether you are in for a trading strategy or you actually can hold on for the long term. This is one of the marquee stocks in the gems and the jewelry spaces as well. Your suggestion, Mr. Bathini, how should you guide this one?
Sakshi, if the investor is a really long-term investor, he can hold on. Till Titan have the legs to rise. Apart from the jewelry, they are entering into the fashion space. Okay, that is also going to, as the disposable incomes tend to go up on a longer term basis. one can hold on to the stock. And given the quality of the management and also the strong business model, Titan can weather any kind of disruption in the any global environment. Also, these business models can be sustained. So, if the investor is a long-term investor, he can stay invested, and any dip also he can add.
Okay, I hope this has answered your question. We have this next question. This is from Shomalya Biswas from Kolkata. He says, I have 5,000 shares of Suzlon Energy at a price of 51. I want to know a target and stop loss for this. What would you suggest here, sir?
Actually, given the kind of volatility in the markets, what we are witnessing, one need to be little bit extra cautious with respect to the names like Suzlon and all. Of course, there is a sense of improvement in the previous quarter, but until unless the investor have a extremely high risk appetite, one need to be in these kind of names like that. These stocks have run up from 5 rupees to 100 rupees, and they got
Yeah.
corrected 50% at this point of time. So if the investor have that appetite only, one need to be in these stocks. Otherwise, he can exit these stocks in the rallies. There are better companies, much available. If he have the high risk appetite, most probably he can keep the stop loss around 50, around a trailing stop loss. If the stock is violating that range, he can exit.
ओके हमारे साथ एक अगले कॉलर हैं आशीष कुमार हैं सहस्र बिहार से आशीष जी नमस्कार कैसे हैं आप जी पूछिए
मेरा क्वेश्चन है कि मैंने इंडस बैंक के 50 शेयर लिए थे 927 में
ठीक है
जनवरी में लिया था
ठीक है
पहले तो टारगेट शॉर्ट टर्म का था बट एकदम से अभी जो क्रैश हुआ तो
गिर गया है
मेरी शॉक हूँ
बिल्कुल
तो उसमें क्या मेरे को करना चाहिए क्या स्ट्रेटेजी शॉर्ट टर्म एंड मिड टर्म में होना चाहिए
बिल्कुल आपने सही समय पर सवाल पूछ लिया है कि कल ही हमने सबसे ज्यादा गिरावट यहाँ पर देखी है स्टॉक में आज थोड़ी रिकवरी आ रही है और आपने ये अच्छा किया पूछकर कि पहले आप गेस्ट से पूछेंगे और उसके बाद ही अपनी पोजीशंस के ऊपर कुछ एक्ट करेंगे ये सबसे बढ़िया बात आपने की है क्योंकि देखा जाए क्रांति जी तो इंडसइंड बैंक एक लार्ज प्राइवेट सेक्टर बैंक है और प्राइवेट क्षेत्र का एक बढ़िया बैंक समझा जाता है ऐसा नहीं है कि हमेशा से बहुत ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम्स रही हैं इसके फाइनेंशियल्स में या फिर बहुत फ्रॉड्स हुए हैं ऐसा कुछ पास्ट में हिस्टोरिकली बहुत प्रूव नहीं हुआ है लेकिन इस बार जो करंटली आया है मैनेजमेंट ने साफ तौर पर बाहर आके बोला है कि हम लोग ट्रांसपेरेंट रहना चाहते हैं इसलिए हम लोगों ने आगे बढ़कर बताया है कि हम ये हिट लेने वाले हैं Q4 में वो मानते हैं कि पूरा का जो इम्पैक्ट उनके पास पड़ रहा है 1500 करोड़ से ज्यादा का वो इम्पैक्ट इसमें एब्जॉर्ब करेंगे और उम्मीद करते हैं कि Q4 में भी फिर भी प्रॉफिट्स पे आए वो इस तरीके की उन्होंने उम्मीद जताई है कल और ये भी बोला है कि आगे आने वाला जो फाइनेंशियल ईयर है वहां पर भी प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी के ऊपर पूरा फोकस रहेगा कंपनी का ये भी उन्होंने बोला है कि वो उम्मीद करते हैं कि ये एक ही बार पहला वंस एंड फॉर ऑल इस तरीके की सिचुएशन हुई है कोई रिकरिंग इवेंट नहीं है ये भी उन्होंने क्लैरिफाई किया है बट अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल आर स्टिल फीलिंग अ लॉट स्टक बिकॉज लाइक आवर व्यूअर आशीष जी 927 पर एंटर किए थे और अब 679 पर ये स्टॉक आ गया है बहुत सारे दर्शक इन्हीं की तरह इस स्टॉक में फंसे हुए हैं आप क्या राय देना चाहेंगे
साक्षी जी इंडसइंड बैंक का देखे तो वन ऑफ द स्ट्रॉन्ग बैंक है बट लेकिन जो न्यूज आया है पहला काफी रॉन्ग टाइम पे आया है मार्केट का सेंटिमेंट भी बहुत बिगड़ा है ये टाइम पे इसलिए रिएक्शन जो मार्केट का रिएक्शन है बहुत स्ट्रांगली प्रेशर क्रिएट हुआ है स्टॉक में इसलिए हम लोग तकरीबन 25% तक गिरावट देखा है स्टॉक में आज मैनेजमेंट कमेंट्री का बहुत मैनेजमेंट ने बहुत स्ट्रांग कमेंट्री दिया है और इन्वेस्टर कॉन्फिडेंस को रिस्टोर करने के लिए और जैसा इंश्योरेंस जैसा भी दिया है नथिंग टू वरी बोल के बट अगर मैनेजमेंट का कमेंट्री हिसाब से गए तो ओके the valuations for this stock looks very attractive at this point of time. If the investor is an extremely long-term investor and have a high risk appetite, one can keep adding this stock. And these kind of falls in IndusInd Bank came earlier also, Sakshiji. During COVID time also, the stock went up to the level of 220 rupees, also 270, 300 range. That was the level the stock touched. From there onwards, stock was bounced back. So, really at this point of time, the great sayings of Wall Street, when there is a blood on the street, that is the time one need to buy. When the sale is going on, that is the time one need to buy. So, the brave hearts definitely kind of the strong footage the bank have, and the way the bank have demonstrated their strong business capabilities in the past 7-8 years. If the investors believe in the stock, okay, one can add the stock and the existing investors can hold on. I can understand when a stock all of a sudden, like IndusInd Bank, one day comes below around 25 to 30% kind of thing in just few days. Definitely,
Yes.
it creates the questions for the investors. It creates panic for the investors. But one can hold on to the stock.
आप बने रह सकते हैं आशीष जी, ये आपको यहाँ पर सलाह दी जा रही है। डेफिनेटली काफ़ी बड़ा इम्पैक्ट देखने को मिला है और जिस तरीके से अगर आप मैनेजमेंट की बात माने तो वो कोशिश कर रहे हैं इसको एक ही क्वार्टर में इसका इम्पैक्ट पूरा करके आगे दोबारा से प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी की ओर बढ़ने के लिए देखना ये होगा कि उनका जो कहना है ये कितना सही साबित हो पाता है Q4 के अर्निंग्स में। हालांकि क्रांति जी का मानना है जो लॉन्ग टर्म स्टोरी पे बिलीव करते हैं इंडसइंड बैंक की, वो खरीदारी के लिए धीरे धीरे अपॉर्चुनिटी खोज भी सकते हैं और एग्जिस्टिंग इन्वेस्टर्स को बने रहने की फिलहाल सलाह दी जा रही है, क्योंकि इमीडिएटली इतना लॉस बुक करके आपको इस समय नहीं निकलना चाहिए। ये आपके लिए राय दी जा रही है। अगला सवाल हमारे पास आया है अमन एस अनेजा का। ही सेज, हाय साक्षी, आई नीड अ व्यू ऑन विप्रो, इज इट द राइट टाइम टू एंटर?
Sakshi, from last few days, the US tech meltdown, okay, that has been
Yes.
creating extra pressure on Indian IT companies. But if the investor is having a horizon of more than 2-3 years, definitely one can use this downtrend on Wipro to take enter into the stock. As the beginning, what I mentioned was the US recession fears that has been creating more pressure on the IT stocks in the medium to short term. If the investor have a long-term horizon, given the kind of strong business models these companies and also all these IT companies, especially Indian large cap and mid cap IT companies are concerned, they have witnessed all these downtrends on US markets and the global markets are concerned. We witnessed 2008, we witnessed crisis like Bank Valley crisis, and the unprecedented interest rate rise by Fed. We witnessed the COVIDs and all. So, despite of all these adverse events, these companies could able to expand their presence and also expand their profitability and revenues. So, if the investor is a really long-term investor, one can add this stock, but one need to add in a staggered manner. That is the important skill. Don't waste the gunpowder. Okay, if the investor want to buy 100, he can start accumulating with 10, 15 at this point of time.
Okay, fair point. We have some more questions. Vinod Chaudhary writes in, he's from Hyderabad. He says, I'm a big follower of Kranthi sir, so I want to say my greetings to him. Thank you,
Thank you.
Vinod. And he has a short-term view and 60% profit on AxisCades. He wants to know whether he can go ahead and book partial profit or continue for the next 3 years. That's his question.
The stock has, during this choppy markets and when the stocks are correcting, Sashi, the stock has risen around 80% in the past 1 year. Congratulations to him for just holding on to this stock. Given the kind of the new news flows that are taking place with respect to the aviation industry is concerned and defense industry is concerned, companies which are into the defense technologies and all, they're gaining the momentum. AxisCades is one of the same kind of company. But due to the current volatility in the market, if he's a really long-term investor, he can hold on to the stock. And in fact, any dip he can buy. But given the kind of volatility, what we are witnessing, any stock is not an exception. But this stock has been showing its resilience. The stock, this week also, it went up by around 20%. So he can book some profit from at this point of time, given the kind of 60% profit he is making when the other stocks, people are trying to preserve their capital. The stock shown its resilience. So he can book some small profit at this point of time. Any dip in the stock, he can buy further.
Okay, got that. So I hope this has answered your question. We have a question from Roshan Pradhan. He says, I want to know whether there is a fresh entry opportunity on International Gemological Institute of India, the recently listed stock which is into the gems and jewelry space and especially the lab-grown diamonds.
The theme looks very interesting, Sakshi, but the stock has corrected almost 50% from its peak from 610 to currently the stock is around below 300 levels. And given the kind of focus approach lab-grown diamonds and also the diamond industry is concerned, the testing is concerned, their margins are quite high. They have EBITDA margins around 50 to 60%. But the stock has been witnessing a selling pressure at this point of time. If the investor is really a long-term investor, one can start adding at dips in international gemology. The company have a strong pedigree of management, like Blackstone is the promoter of this company. So given the kind of institutional interest in this company, one can add this stock at dips.
Okay, got that. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Bathini, for being with us on the show today and navigating through all the market moves and helping us with clear strategies as to what to follow to take the benefit of the dips in the markets that we are witnessing. Always a pleasure to host you with us on daily calls and hope to have you very, very soon back on the show. And in the meanwhile, I'd like to extend my greetings to you for upcoming Holi festival and hope that